Yashodanandana Balajaranjana Yamunatira Banatali Jayalada Madaba Kunjabihali Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Om Vishnu Pada Paramahanta Dukacharya Totoro Sisis Mai. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Principal Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktabinda Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dhama Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Yamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai, All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 10, The Battle Between the Demigod and Demon, text 25 to 38. Tesham Padagata Latanga Junita Tesham Padangata Latanga Junita Ayodhana Ubana Utista Tada Ayodhana Udana Utista Tada Nenu Disha Kam Dumanim Cha Chadam Nenu Disha Kam Dumanim Cha Chadam Nabata Tasriku Sudibi Pariputa Nabata Tasriku Sudibi Pariputa Tesang Padangata Natanga Junita Ayodhana Ubana Utista Tada Nenu Disakam Daina Ninja Dadayam Nambanta Tasvi Suti Viparipura Tesang Padangata Latanga Junita Ayodhana Ubana Utista Tada Lenu Sankandana Ninja Dadayam Nabhakta Tatri Siti Vipariputa. Babuji. Anybody want to chant? From text 26 to 37 was read by yesterday's speaker, so I'm not reading today. And text 38 was also done yesterday, but because it was given to me anyway, I'm going to read. Translation, word to word. Attention of all the people engaged on the battlefield. Bhagavata, because of beating on the ground by the leg of the demons and demigod. Latanga, and by the wheel of the chariot. Junita, which was made into pieces by dust. Ayodhana, from the battlefield. Ubana, very forceful. Uttista, rising. Tada, all that time. Renu, the dust, particles. Disha, all directions. Come, outer space. Dunani, up to the sun. Cha, also. Chadayam, covering all the space up to that. Nyabatata, dropped, floating in the air. Asrik, of blood. Sutibi, by particles. Pariputa, because of being widely sprinkled. Translation from text 38. Because of the impact on the ground of the leg of the demon and demigod, and the wheel of the chariot, particles of dust flew violently into the sky and made a dust cloud that covered all directions of outer space, as far as the sun. But when particles of dust were followed by a drop of blood being sprinkled all over space, the dust could no longer float in the sky. Please repeat. Because of the impact on the ground of the leg of the demon and demigod, and the wheel of the chariot, particles of the dust violently flew into the sky and made a dust cloud that covered all directions of outer space as far as the sun. But when the particles of dust were followed by the drop of blood being sprinkled all over the space, the dust could no longer float in the sky. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The cloud of the dust covered the entire horizon, but when the drop of blood sprayed up as far as the sun, the dust could no longer float in the sky. A point to be observed here is that although the blood is stated to have reached the sun, it is not said to have reached the moon. Apparently, therefore, as stated elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, the sun, not the moon, is a planet near the earth. We have already discussed this point in many places. The sun is first, then the moon, then Mars, Jupiter, and so on. The sun is supposed to be 93 million miles above the surface of the earth. And from the Srimad Bhagavatam, we understood the moon is 1,600,000 miles above the sun. Therefore, the distance between the Earth and the moon would be about 95 million miles. So, if the space capsule were traveling at the speed of 18,000 miles per hour, how could it reach the moon in 4 days? At that speed, going to the moon would take at least 7 months. That space capsule on the moon excursion has reached the moon in 4 days is therefore impossible. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanasharakaya Chakshum Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So this verse was spoken yesterday. I'm going to continue from the point he has finished. Means moon landing. The human has gone to the moon or not. That was the yesterday's discussion. Previous verse was talking about demon and demigod fight. There were so many demons' name, demigod name, text after text. But Srila Prabhupada didn't make any comment. That means, thank you. When there is no text, no purport in the text, of course Srimad Bhagavatam is important everywhere, but when Prabhupada doesn't put the purport, that is, don't have to put the purport. If we put in our life, people are always fighting between the woman and woman, man and man, nation and nation, country and country, manager and manager, like here Indra fighting with Bali Maharaj. Vishwakarma is fighting with Mayadanava. Brihaspati is fighting with Shukracharya. They are fighting with equal people. But Prabhupada didn't make any comment. That means fighting is going on. In a higher planet, lower planet, on the earthly planet, even in ISKCON, but no comment. And Prabhupada make the comment on this text, how the sun is situated and moon is higher. That is more important to Prabhupada to comment on. So we will discuss about Vedic cosmology. When Prabhupada discuss about Vedic cosmos, about science, first, he wants us to refute the scientific idea, then establish the Vedic idea, then third stage, bring it to the point of bhakti. So we will do these three things: refute the science, establish the Vedic cosmos, and bring to the point of bhakti. And because TOBP is coming up, whole world is looking for, and they are going to ask us what it's about. So we need to be able to answer all the questions people may put. So first we will see the refute the scientists. If the human went to the moon, yesterday Janani Basu gave the calculation how we didn't go to the moon in 4 days because of the number. So the scientists, they like the numbers, they like the evidence, they like something they can see. They believe on something they can experience. So when we preach the science, we need to come up with something with solid, we can explain with numbers and logic. So Prabhupada said here, the moon is 1,600,000 miles above the sun. The distance between the Earth and the moon would be 95 million miles away. So if the space capsule were traveling at the speed of 18,000 miles per hour, how could it reach the moon in 4 days? I calculated that what would happen if you travel in the speed of if you travel in the speed of 18,000 miles per hour, which is not so easy, and the distance from the Earth and the Moon is 95 million miles, then it takes 5,277 hours and 24 hours in a day. So it takes about 220 days. That is about 7 months. And they're telling they took 4 days. Therefore, it was not possible. That was the simple way the Prabhupada is putting here. When we explain about moon landing, because Prabhupada was so kind, he said only this much in the book. But we, the follower of Prabhupada, we want to put more. For example, moon landing scandal. There is a picture of the American flag stuck on the surface of the moon. And they said there was no gravity in the moon. There was no atmosphere, no wind. Then why the flag is moving? There is no atmosphere, there is no wind, but that picture, the video they took, the flag was moving. Why? And they said the sun was only source of the light. And when the person who made the camera, they didn't put the facility of flash. They didn't have a spotlight. They didn't have any other source of light other than sun. And the photo taken there is the moon, there is the sun, there is the person, and there is the rock. And the shadow is supposed to be from one direction because there was only one source of the light. But the shadow were everywhere from different directions. What does that mean? That means there must be many different sources of the light, which was not supposed to be there. And then, because there was only one side of light, when the moon landing is happening, someone is coming down from a space castle, sun is there, spaceship is there, man was landing against the sun, which was in the shadow, and there was a big shadow of spaceship behind the sun. But the photo they took, the spaceman was clearly visible. It's supposed to be in the dark, but then he was brilliantly shining as if he was in a spotlight. What does that mean? The another one, explosion. They are trying to make the spaceship which can land on the moon safely, but they want to have some experiment before they put in the moon. So they fly the space capsule, and then someone was inside, astronomy, and they are landing, but it was something not light. So the person who was in jumped off the spaceship with parachute and land safety, and the spaceship was crashed into the ground, big explosion. That was terrible failure on the Earth. And people know the atmosphere, the Earth so well, still they fail. And after only 2 months, they sent the space capsule to the moon and successfully land on the moon. How is that possible? Another question. When they sent a rocket, they make such a big scene, all the scientists and engineers, they construct a big thing and put the rocket, and everyone's watching, and they will count 3, 2, 1, 0, boom, then big sound, the rocket flies, such a big commotion, yes? But when spaceship coming back from the moon to the Earth, there was no science, no engineer to set up such a huge thing. They just start floating and come back to the Earth, Haribo. How is that possible? Yeah? Then another thing, the sound. When we have the sound vibrated here, from distance you can hear after a few seconds. Even Mayapur TV, when you hear, you can hear the kirtan from temple. At the same time you listen to the Mayapur TV, you notice some sound different, few seconds. Yes? And also when the thunder in the sky, you can see the light but sound come after a few seconds. That means sound travel the speed of less than light. But when they recorded, the mind is in Earth, other mind is in the moon. They are speaking, but there was no gap. The mind speaking, hello, how you doing in the moon? Yeah, it's fine, we are landing in the moon. There was no space in between as if they are talking to each other on the spot. But if they are in the moon such a far distance, there should be some gap between the sound they spoke and that sound reached. But there was no gap. Why? Like that. And there were many more. Then it comes Area 51. Anybody heard about Area 51? Yeah? Yeah. So Area 51 is secret place the Americans is hiding. Nobody can go there. If anybody happen to be there or come close to enter, they can be shot without any notice, just dead. That means they are doing something secret. It's in the desert, big area, and the Soviet sent a spy. Somehow they managed to take a photo from the sky. And there was a desert. Look exactly the moon. Means moon, the photo American took. It's like a sand with like a hole. The way how the American took a photo. Why? Why have to be there? Why have to be so secretly protected? Why nobody can go there? And if someone go there, we are being like alien walking around. Why? Then American, actually whole thing was done because it was first moon landing was 1968. That was the time Cold War was going on between Soviet and America. American has nuclear weapon. They throw in Japan, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they explode and we had a terrible crash. Then Soviet, they also wanted to create a nuclear weapon to go against America. But they didn't want to throw because they don't want to destroy whole world. So American and Soviet has Cold War, just showing we have weapon, don't fight with me. So American wanted to do something so great, the Soviet will not attack America. So they thought, we'll go to the moon, Soviet will get scared, we have so much technology, they will not attack. Then they start trying all these experiments, but they are failing. And they said, we have to make it to go to the moon. And if we cannot make it, just fake it. Just fake it. That was the time of Prime Minister what's the name? What's the name of that minister? Something from Kennedy. And then one before, the Prime Minister, the previous Prime Minister, he's not doing the work, he was resigned. His friend came to his house and asking, oh, did you see that moon landing? Did you hear about moon landing? Do you even believe it? And then the former Prime Minister in America said, yeah, of course I believe, I saw it in a TV show. And then a friend said, really, do you actually believe it? Actually, this was a part of politics. The Soviet wouldn't attack America. So they have to do this. They need to go to the moon, or cannot do it to fake it. That was a political reason. I wouldn't say this is bad or good. It's good in sense because the Soviet never attacked America because of moon landing. So there was a peace in the house. And bad because they spent $8 billion, a huge amount of money to make this movie. That was very expensive. And many people were actually sacrificing their life and time. They could have spent the money for something better. But anyway, all these things, when we speak with scientists, we need to come up with some evidence, some solid we can see, we can show, we can prove by logic and some proof, evidence. The next, scientist with religion. Bible talk about the scientists, they don't believe in God. Yeah, many scientists, they don't believe. And actually in science field, if they bring the God in a picture, they cannot stay in the scientific field. There's only two ideas. God create whole universe, or material element evoke into the universe. That's two. So the many scientists, they don't believe. Even they believe, they cannot say they believe. And astronomer who went to the moon, supposed to, he was asked to hold the Bible by the reporter. You hold this Bible and say, I have gone to the moon. Can you do it? And that man who came as natural hero, he was so scared. No, I can't do it. No, why you have to do it? No, I can't do it. And the reporter said, you have gone to the moon. Just touch the Bible and say, I have gone to the moon. No, I cannot say it. No, Jesus. He was so scared, he couldn't say it. Yeah, so the scientists, government, everyone has some kind of good fair feeling. Few days ago, one of the great scientists, Stephen Hawking, that's how I pronounce. You know that person? Something like Stephen Hawking. The pronunciation is right or wrong. He's one of the greatest scientists in today. He left the body on 14th of March, just a few days ago. He was actually born on the death anniversary of Galileo, who invented binocular, and he died on the birthday of Einstein. And he was very smart. His parents were in Oxford, both mother and father, and he was so smart, and he went to Oxford also. When he was in the first year of Oxford, that's its best university, he said, it's ridiculously boring. It's too easy. So he didn't want to even study. That much he was intelligent. And he said, first he wanted to do the mathematics. Father said, no, don't do the math because in mathematics you cannot earn the money. Do the medical science, that earn the money. Anyway, he took a mathematics, and later he took the cosmology. Then in cosmology, that field, he became famous. He said, I want to know everything about the universe because I want to know why the universe exists. But God is playing the dice and he hide the trick. Therefore, we cannot understand. That sounds like he believes in God. Yeah? I thought he's a good man. But later on I found out, he said, it's easy to believe that God created the universe unless you know the science. But now we have science. We can explain everything about the universe. We don't need God anymore. So I don't believe in God anymore. I don't even believe in the heaven. I don't believe in the life after the death also. That's the one of the examples of modern science. They have God consciousness somewhere, but somehow they will be twisted in different way. Talking about Galileo, he was from the time of Roman emperor. If you say they don't believe God, he is dead. You have to believe in God. So he is known as a believer of God. But how he believed is not how you believe as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, the Shama Sundara. He wasn't thinking like that. He was a scientist. He believed in God. God exists in an ether space. That's why God can see everything. God can know everything, whole universe. Sound familiar to that philosophy in Bhagavad Gita? 4 kinds of pious people come to Krishna. Yes? 4 kinds of pious people. 1, materially impoverished, you're looking for the wealth. Then, distressed, inquisitive, looking for the knowledge. Then Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 describes, apart from these 4 types of pious people who come to God, there was 3 another type of worshipper of God. That is, you worship God because I'm God. I identify myself as a God. That is one type of God worship. Another one, just concoct somebody powerful as God, like Hitler or superstar movies, whatever. Just concoct someone as God and worship that. That is also another type of God worship. Then the third one, they worship universe as God, Vishwarup, or material nature, because they cannot go beyond something they can perceive. That's the type Galileo was. He believed in God, but he perceived the God in the material nature. Then Einstein, he is of course one of the greatest scientists. He was brought up in the Jewish family. Jewish means God consciousness. In the school when he was small, the teacher said something like God is not capable of making everything perfect. Therefore, there is a darkness, there is a light. If God is perfect, there is no darkness. There is only light. That's how the teacher explained about God. And Einstein said, no teacher, I think, God is perfect. But because we are not perfect, because of our lack, we see darkness when we turn the back to God. It doesn't sound like our philosophy. That is Einstein. So coming to the point of preaching to the scientist. How do we preach to the scientist? Prabhupada generally speak very strong about what they're doing, but as a person, when he meets with a scientist, he is not going to say, oh, you are a demon, you are unbeliever, you are stupid. He will never say that. He deals with them very gently and nicely. That's how come with the book, Life Comes from Life. When he was walking the beach, he was talking with scientists. He dealt with him very nicely. And he established Bhaktivedanta Institute. Swarupa Damodara Maharaj. He is like a personification of gentleman. He is a scientist, PhD doctor. He called for the conference of science. Sometimes he brings the scientists to the Mayapur also. He has different ideas from modern science, but when he speaks the scientists, he deals with them so gently, so nicely that all the scientists who deal with him, even though they have different opinion, they are so captivated to his character, so they even come to the Mayapur. That is the greatest thing. We want to preach because we want them to become devotee. We are not preaching to make them feel bad. So we have to learn how to preach to all kind of people without offending and try to bring them to Krishna, close to Krishna. Then Sadabhuta Prabhu, how he preached. Somebody asked him, how do you preach to the scientist? He said, oh, when I speak to the scientist, I will not speak anything about the Vedic cosmos. That's a surprise because he is, like for us, he is a like column, pillar of Vedic cosmos. But he said, I wouldn't speak about Vedic cosmos because as much as I speak, they will think, oh, this is too much. It's a big disc, big elephant in fourth side. Underneath is a gigantic tortoise. They wouldn't believe that. So he said he will not speak about Vedic cosmology, but he speak about what they are studying. They are doing different things, and then they will explain what they are doing, and then they come to the point. So far, I know this much, but we cannot explain any more further. Then he will ask the question through the evidence: what about this? What about that? What about this? That is the conversation he makes with scientists. For example, black hole. What does it mean, black hole? Doesn't make any sense. Yesterday I was watching some YouTube. Doesn't make any sense. There is atom combined together, make some more combination, and radiation, and all the things happen. Suddenly black hole, everything going inside. We never know where they're going because we don't know. Because once you go in, you don't come back. So we don't know. The scientists actually admit that they don't know about the universe 97%. For the scientists to say they don't know 97% is a big thing because they want to say we know, we are progressing. But they even admit they don't know about the universe 97%. Probably it's more, but it's a good start to say that. Then we will say, oh, you don't know, but we know. We have evidence, we have scriptures. This is what Guru Maharaj said, Prabhupada said. Scientists, they don't know something, but we know, we have a Shastra. Then we will present. Because according to the Stephen Hawking, they are saying, the scientists, we can show so much to the world. The people can actually see what the scientists achieve. So we will also show what we have. Before we didn't know so much about the Vedic cosmos, but now we can actually show, not only talking, but people like to see something, not by hearing enough. So we have Vedic planetarium. Prabhupada wanted not just temple, but he wanted Vedic planetarium, that people can actually see it. So we are going to show the people what we are presenting. Then Harisori Prabhupada said that we don't care if they accept or not, but we will present. We will just show. Just like a court judge. Court judge, then they have two sides, and both sides will present their view, and a court will judge. So we will present to the world our view, scientists presenting their view. And we cannot force anybody, but we will present. But don't just keep quiet, but we will present. Having said that, what we can show the Vedic cosmology, Veda is divided to two, Shruti and Smriti. Shruti is something you cannot change. The God spoken or something which you cannot change. In that there are the four Vedas. Within the four Vedas there is a Samhita, which include Brahma Samhita. That Brahma Samhita has so much knowledge in Vedic cosmos, how the God exists in each atom, even between the atom, how the Surya, the sun is moving and the direction of God, how Durga, the material nature, conducts herself under the guidance of God. Then we have Upanishad and Vedanga, that is Jyotish. Jyotish means astrology, that is within the Veda. Within the Jyotish there is Surya Siddhanta. Surya Siddhanta is a book about astronomy, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur translated. His name is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That title of Saraswati was not given from devotee. Saraswati was given from the group of cosmology. Those scholars gave him this title for his translating Surya Siddhanta, for his achievement in cosmology. So in our line from Gaudiya Sampradaya, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, famous astronomy, and Prabhupada wanted to establish this. How the Surya Siddhanta was spoken. As the name indicates, it was spoken by Surya Dev, sun god, to Mayapur. Anybody knows Mayapur? Mayapur is the father-in-law of one of our great demons, hero of Ramayana, Ravana. You have seen Ramayana's film or read Ramayana? When Ravana does bad thing like stealing the Sita, Ravana's father-in-law, in other words, his wife Mandodari, chaste wife Mandodari's father, he always objects, Ravana, please don't do this. You have to return the seat. You notice this personality? He's not so much prominent, but then you notice if you look at Ramayana. He always advised Ravana, return the Sita. You have to be good. His name is Ramasura. He is the person who is so qualified to receive the knowledge from Surya, about Surya Siddhanta. That was 2 million years ago. And later it was written and translated by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And this is really accurate. The number they say is so close to the modern. I give the example. The day, Surya means the movement of the sun. So most of the thing is the date according to the sun. 1 day of the year is about 364 days in modern, and Surya Siddhanta also said the same number. Then diameter of the moon, Surya Siddhanta said 8,000 miles. And modern said 7.928 miles. 8,000 Surya Siddhanta, modern 7.928. That is only less than 1% different. Then the moon diameter, Surya Siddhanta, 2,400 miles. And modern said 2,160 miles. That is again less than 1% different. And there are so many other numbers Surya Siddhanta describe, and you compare to the modern, almost all the numbers are accurate, less than 1% different. So if all information is already in Surya Siddhanta, and modern science come up with similar number, why they have to spend so much energy to do this, just accept the Siddhanta? But they wouldn't do that. But by showing these scriptures, they start thinking, actually Shastra is saying something correct. Because we are great, we came up with this number, and they are saying the same thing, so it must be great. So it's a good way to preach, how we present. Then Srimad Bhagavatam, today's verse, finally we come back to today's verse. It said that they are fighting, and blood splashing, dust going around, and dust is going to the sun, but not going to the moon. Therefore, the sun is close to the moon. That's what Prabhupada said. So it's come up with Bhagavatam, the distance between sun and the moon about 100,000 yojana. That means 1,800,000 miles. So all this calculation again, we need to, maybe you don't like numbers so much. Half of the devotees are falling to sleep. I heard that Kumbhakarna take the shelter in Bhagavatam class in ISKCON. So too much number, maybe not, but if you're preaching to the scientists, the number is very, very strong tool to preach to the scientists because they like the numbers. So you put the numbers. And now we have the distance from Earth to the sun. According to the high dimension, the sun is closer to the moon. The sun stays in between Earth and heaven. That space is called Antariksha. In the space between the sun and Earth, the sun will stay there. That distance is shorter than from here to the moon. But we know the sun is far away, this way, not this way. It's 1 billion miles away. Just like from downstairs to upstairs, here is one level, but from here to Gaonagara, someone staying ground floor, then that distance is far away, but from downstairs to here is closer by this distance. So like that, sun and moon's position is this way and this way, 2 directions you can decide. So when the dust is going close to the sun, that means sun's level is here, moon's level is here, the earth here, the sun is here, so the sun gets covered with dust. and blood splash, so it doesn't reach more than that. But now the sun is this far, and the fighting is going on. How the dust and the blood go there? Yeah? Get it? You're following me? Am I speaking too much? I heard about Vedic cosmology. When class finished, better you have feeling I had enough than I had too much. So now I'm just saying less than what I thought that I can say. So the distance from Earth to the sun in this direction is 1 billion. And the fight is going on here, how the dust is going. That means the fight was just below the sun. That makes better sense. So if you said Earth as Google, that is round ball, that is here. But if you said Earth as Bhumandala spread all over the universe. That is 4 billion miles in diameter. That makes sense that the sun gets covered with dust. If you look at the map, you have seen the map with Jambu Deep in the middle. There is the salt ocean. Then after sugarcane ocean with land, then the liquid and milk and different ocean and land. You have seen that map like a donut shape? Yeah? You have seen it? In the center is Jambu Deep. There is a Mount Smell, Golden Mountain. There is the salt water. And there is another land. There is the sugarcane juice ocean. There is another land. Go to all 7 islands. And end of the island is called Pushkara Dvip. Pushkara Dvip is the last land of the land. In the middle of that, there is a mountain called Manasostra Mountain. On the top of Manas Mountain, that's the same height as Mount Smell. The sun travels this way. And when he travels, he goes to the different above the demigod. The demigod usually stay in a higher planetary system, but they have vacation place. They have on the Mount Manasostra. There is Indra, Vayu, Varuna, and Yamaraj staying on that. So if we consider the battle was taking place on Bhumandala, and demigod was staying there, and the demon were angry because they couldn't get the nectar, probably they will attack there. So it's possible to think that the fight was taking place on Bhumandala in the above or demigod over there, that is close to the sun. So the Vedic cosmology, Srimad Bhagavatam present, very scientific. It's not like a mythology, we think it's just imagination. It's very scientific, very logical, those things. So we can think in the way non-envious, then we can understand and we can try to present others also. Then in a few minutes I will explain about how this seemingly dry philosophy, dry calculation can be connected to Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Shastri, to Bhakti, what we are practicing. Because everything is so scientific, that's fine, but then what's that got to do with Bhakti? Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, divided to 3. Yes? First 6 chapters talk about Karma Yoga. Last 6 chapters talk about Jnana Yoga mainly. And middle 6 chapters talk about Bhakti Yoga. And in the middle of whole Bhagavad Gita, most confidential topic, most confidential knowledge, that's described in chapter 9. Yes? If you look at Bhagavad Gita, if you go home, you read it again, chapter 9, half of the chapter, which is supposed to be described about Ananya Bhakti, about pure devotional service. But many texts are talking about Vedic cosmology. You may be surprised, but the Vedic cosmology doesn't have much to do with pure Bhakti. But in Bhagavad Gita, the chapter which describes the pure Bhakti is describing about Vedic cosmos. It starts from the chapter 9, text 1. Krishna starts from Anasuya bed. I give you this most confidential knowledge to you because you are not envious. Anasuya. Someone is envious, they can't take it. God has created universe. Therefore, most confidential topic, Vedic cosmos has to start from Anasuya, non-envious. Then they can understand. Then he goes, Raja Vijan, Raja Guyan. This confidential knowledge is the king of knowledge and protection. That means you can directly experience. That's what scientists is always talking about. Scientists, they want direct perception. And Bhagavad Gita is talking about this knowledge is protection. Directly you can experience it. It's not just like a philosophy. It's you can directly experience. But it is most secret of all secret. Why? Because it's everywhere. Bhagavad Gita is everywhere. You can just open it. Anyone can read it. But it's secret because to open Bhagavad Gita, you need a key. That key is Mammana Bhava Mambhakto. I always think about Krishna with devotion. That key is not there, then you cannot open Bhagavad Gita. You cannot enter into the mystery of Vedic cosmos. That is Bhagavad Gita. Then I will read a few shlokas which describe about Vedic cosmos. In Bhagavad Gita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Text 4 and text 5. And yet, everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. He is talking about cosmos, he is talking about creation. Text 6. Understand, as a mighty wind blowing everywhere, rest always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. Text 7. O Sam Kunti, at the end of millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature. At the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Text 8. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. And under my will, it is annihilated at the end. Text 9. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all this material activity, seated as a neutral. And text 10. This is famous shloka. We can say together. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sancharancharar hetu nanena kanteya jagat pipari bhaktate. This is in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, middle chapter, and about the middle text. It is talking about Vedic cosmos. This material nature, which is one of my energy, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving being. Under this rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So I conclude with word with last shloka of chapter 9. All the Vedic cosmos culminate in bhakti with this shloka. We can say together, Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, last verse, text 34. Yeah? Mammana bhava mambhakto manyaji man namaskaran manyabayasasi yuktpaivan atma mambalayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely observing me, she will come to me. That's the conclusion of Vedic cosmology in Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is there any comment or question? Okay. Latika Bhakti first and then you. But to make easy question. Yes, Latika Bhakti.
Just going to say, there's also now like a whole group of scientists in the world that actually believe in a superior intelligence. There's a whole group of scientists all over the world that actually believes in a superior intelligence, because they can see, when they do all this DNA, all these different sciences, they can actually see there must be a superior intelligence. So they believe in that. It's like a whole big group that believes in God.
I couldn't hear the last part. Something about the question I try to repeat. There are many intelligent people in all over the world. Whole group of scientists believe. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, there is so many scientists, very intelligent class of people all over the world, and they have been doing all kind of scientific research, and they come to the conclusion there must be someone or something superior being, superior intelligence behind all this creation. Of course, if we want to make something, like if you want to make simple thing like character, we need some intelligence to make a character, and something complicated, something like a microphone. Of course, someone intelligent has to make it. What speak of this video, or the building, or anything. To create something, we need intelligence. So to create universe, there must be some intelligence. So actually, this philosophy is coming from the matter combined together and made something by accident. It's coming from Veda also, two of the six philosophy, Nyaya and Vaisheshika, and also Sankhya philosophy, that is one of the six philosophy. Sankhya philosophy discuss about the 23 material element, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquired senses. That's 23 element. But apart from that, there is 24 element that is soul. And then we know the 25th element that is super soul, that is Krishna. And so that without that, we cannot explain. The Vaisheshika philosophy, one of the six philosophy, explain about atom combined together and make everything. Because everything is combination of atom. That means origin of everything is atom. Yeah? So the whole world is combined by atom. That is the philosophy of Vaisheshika. That is one of the six philosophy. Whatever scientist is saying now, modern science, actually they are already in the Veda. It's nothing new. It's not modern science. It is from the Vedas. So what Vaisheshika philosophy describe about how all these atoms combine. One philosophy is atom combined together or make different form when something is added to it. For example, heat. When 2 atoms, 3 atoms, many atoms put together create so much heat. Therefore, all atoms come together in one place, that is one point, then so much heat is generated. Then with that heat, explosion, the Big Bang. Yeah? Another idea is each atom, they don't need other source of energy to make them combine together and interact. They already inherited the nature in atom itself to combine together. So therefore, the atom can combine together and create a universe. That is another philosophy. In any case, but how that happens must be some intelligence behind it. Otherwise, how that happens cannot be explained. So the sixth philosophy, one of the six philosophy, explain how all these atoms combine together under the guidance of the Supreme Personality of God. That is the basic philosophy. So the scientists are saying we cannot understand this and that. Ultimately, they have to admit there is someone who is intelligent behind all this. And if they admit they cannot stay in the scientific field, that's why they are not saying it. But many scientists actually come to this conclusion. My father is a scientist. He combined the chemical to create the soul. I told God to create the universe. He couldn't take it. It's not that he can't believe it. It makes sense. Because he was saying like Darwin revolution, the living entity coming from the atom. And then I said, where is the atom coming from? He couldn't explain. The scientists, they're so intelligent. And most of the scientists, their motivation is they want to find out the truth. They want to know, to make the world a better place. They're very pious people and intelligent. But in one point they come to stuck. They have to accept there is some higher natures, God exists. Thank you. It's 9 o'clock. Can I ask you after the class? After the class? Because then everyone can go. But everyone needs to go to breakfast. It's very important. Oh, I will wait for you, but then everyone else can go for the breakfast. Okay, but don't ask heavy question. Okay. Yeah. Don't mind for delay of breakfast 1 minute. Yes.
Preaching, let's come to preaching. Very nice class you gave just now. Preaching, is there any barrier? Prabhupada said just follow your nature, use your talent to preach. So in preaching, there is no any barriers. Like you can use your asset to preach, right? So my question is, we use our talent to preach. So this Mayapur, it's a world reference place. I'm doing preaching. So I'm very upset actually by some comments saying that I can't use my talent, my asset to preach. So is this right?
Anyone can preach. There's a book from CDM, Congregational Preaching, Free to Preach. Anyone can preach, anyone can use their ability, but just don't offend anybody when you preach. Yeah.
Don't offend anybody.
Yeah.
So the public get the message.
Yeah.
Our duty is to deliver the message.
Yes.
How you do it is not a question here.
Without offending anybody.
Without offending, I
Yeah.
understand.
And without forcing.
How you deliver the message?
Present what we have.
It's very, very personal, right? It's very personal. First, of course, you don't offend anybody. Vaishnavas, or even non-devotees, we don't offend anybody. People are attracted to you, so you're free to preach. So, be careful.
Yes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo.